All right, so the breakfast show continues, and of course, we're still doing a wrap for the year 2020. I think it's been an amazing year, and yeah, despite a few ups and downs here, but it's been an amazing year. Let's talk about how the Patriotic Front has really fared this year, even as we look at 2021. Now, we're going to isolate a few events that characterized 2020, and want to see how government and the party in power has actually handled these events. Joining me is Patriotic Front media admin, Mr. Chendela Elasmas, actually, Mukondo, who is here with me. Honorable, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and welcome to our breakfast show.
It's quite a rare privilege to be here, and wishing everybody out there happy festive season. And then even as we go into 2021, we are wishing everyone happy 2021. And then also to you, happy festive season.
Thank you so much. 2020 began with, it had a lot of events. Let us start by looking at, first of all, generally, how would you describe 2020? How has it been for you?
Well, 2020 has been a year that has shocked almost everyone. It has been a very difficult year. That is, economically wise, it has been an extremely difficult year in the sense that we had the biggest challenge that we have never faced in our generation, and that is the COVID-19, which came, I think, in the first quarter of this year. That was around the 21st March, something like that. And where we are, it's still wreaking havoc in our Middle. So 2021, economically wise, it has been extremely bad. And then on the health level, there's been a big challenge on household level. We have lost, I think, about more than 300 people as a nation. And then almost 18,000, close to 19,000 people are still have those problems. Although we have a lot of people have recovered, there around 17,000, somewhere there. But in totality, 2021 has been very hard because other things which culminated into major difficulties, that one of energy. Energy, we had some El Nino, which had maximized, is it somewhere in 2018, 2019. 2020, it was the worst. We had, as late as January, we had shedding almost close to 22 hours per day. We are only seeing electricity for 2 hours, 4 hours. And then not forgetting the gasings. When we came into 2020, we had the gassing predicament, which we, up to this very day, we are shocked as to why it happened in our midst. And I think a lot of people were arrested. We had some arrests, and the other people, there are some conviction in the courts. But the people are still asking what happened in 2020 with that gassing. And then also immediately went into March. There was this pandemic, the COVID pandemic, which we are seeing as something which was extremely remote. We just used to hear it. It is in Italy, Spain, USA. Eventually, it came to our doorsteps. So, spiritually, I think also we saw the closing, the chains, the lockdown. We had some partial lockdown. That also meant economically we came to a standstill. So, I think in 2020, for others, they would even say that it was completely covided. It was covided in the sense that all activities just point one thing, and that is COVID. And if you look at the economic level of productivity, we are even going into negativity. But we thank the people of Zambia for being resilient. We thank the people of Zambia for being a people who have been with this government, and they have never disappointed us. And we thank God that generally we have put out as a nation to where we stand as a today. And the unfortunate development is that one of losing of two Zambians, is it on the 24th or 23rd, somewhere there, because of some political issues when somebody was summoned. And I think we are ending 2020 on a more like on a somber note. And the other thing which would also bring to our people is that somewhere there in July, we also lost our members of parliament to COVID-19. So it was a very difficult period for us, but we thank God that we have pulled it out. And we also thank our people out there that we continue fighting this, and we don't have to drop the guard.
We don't have to drop the guard. You've lightly touched on almost all events that characterized 2020. Let me start putting these events one by one. Yes. We start with the gassing issue. How do you think government and the party in power, your party, handled that particular issue? That also saw a good number of people really lose lives, lose property, and of course they were psychologically affected, and so on and so forth. How do you think as a country we handled that issue?
You know, that issue, it came on sitting on the security of the station, and the way it happened is that it happened so spontaneous, and it started from Copperbelt, somewhere Arushi, somewhere there Chingola. We were thinking this thing was something in rose, something between a mystery and something political, but as it kept on unfolding, we find that it was something which gotten beyond our reach, and with the coming in of social media, it made it so spontaneous, and it was it became an extremely difficult situation to handle. But we thank our men and women in the uniform. They managed to control the situation even before the COVID-19 came in, and I think a lot of people have been arrested, and the masterminders, as we are told, they have been arrested. But to this very day, we want to know, especially that, you know, everything that goes into the court processes, we have to wait until the due process of the law takes its course, and then that's when there will be a formal report to say this was the mastermind, this was the players in doing this thing. Otherwise, where we stand as today, we are still waiting for that formal report to come out, so that at the end of the day, such a thing should never happen again, should never present its ugly face in our nation, our peaceful nation. So basically, for us as a Patriotic Front, we give kudos to the leadership of one Edgar Chagalungu, because others were saying that we should bring in, some investigators from London, some investigators from the United Kingdom, but we say that we are an inbuilt capability to do that, and I think so far so good. This has been exhibited, and the arresting of these culprits, who are more than, in fact, I think 21, somewhere there to 28. It's a commendable job, and we think what we just need, after the due process of the law has finished, the Zambians, they deserve to know who are these convicts by name, so that at the end of the day, this thing should not happen again. Otherwise, it was something which had happened so spontaneous across the nation.
For you, do you think that was a political issue?
Well, we can't 100% say that it was a political issue, because the dynamics at which it happened, you find that it got out of even being political. It became a security issue. It became, we are fighting demons. We are fighting people who are spiritually attached to some forces, because they were not choosing whether it is UPND, it's a PF cadre, it is the NAREP. It was just a hazard. They were attacking almost everyone. And you remember very well, we lost even the former town clerk, Mr. Akuyu, who was a UPND. He was killed in the southern province. He was suspected to be among the gassers. So it just became anyone they started now suspecting went out of hand. So basically, this is the reason why that after we have at the due process of the law, they have come out, they have made sure that this convict, they have given the right information to the judicial, a judicial report shall be released to the public to know.
Moving on from the gassing issue, obviously, as we were dealing with the gassing issue, COVID-19, second week of March, hit Zambia. The first case was reported, and during that particular period, the Republican president thought of taking precautionary measures. So we saw a lot of closures of economic activities that bring money into the economy,
Yes,
bars,
yes.
sports events, and so on and so forth. Between March and September, how do you think your party handled COVID-19?
Well, our role as a political party, I remember very well, I think we participated in information dissemination. And I think I was one of the people who was assigned even to be coming here. And I think through the means of health, others were assigned everywhere to get the information across the nation. And we want to thank you as a media institution that facilitated some of these messages that we had passed on to the people, the dissemination. I think our critical role was that of also being stakeholders, as the interested stakeholders in the dissemination of the information. And I think that was very critical, because at the end of the day, we saw that even as it was demonstrated, we were told that we should take this predicament or challenge as an health matter, and at the same time as an international challenge, as a pandemic, and at the same time we needed also to make sure that we are not going to politicize it, and that's what was preached to us. We saw the head of state, they had appealed that it was important that we follow the international standards. It was important that we understand that we get the right information from the Ministry of Health. And I think the Ministry of Health had done a commendable job. They are part of us, and also the importance of our participation was that of where we had the materials to distribute, we had to distribute, but we had also some challenges, because some of these things that we are doing, they are going to be perceived as political. But our main role, we are all just interested stakeholders. And being a ruling party, supporting the leadership of one Edgar Chagwarungu, we had a crucial role, that one of making sure that we participated in the dissemination of information at ward level, at constituency level, district level, and the provincial level. And we saw to it that all these provincial committees, they participated in cleaning of Lusaka, cleaning of Chilanga, cleaning of Chongwe, cleaning of Livingston, cleaning of other far-flung areas. So basically for us, that was our major critical role, and we helped also in the programming of these chemicals, so that we would make them available for us to use. But otherwise, it was a big challenge.
Out of 100%, how much percentages would you give to your party in terms of excellence in handling COVID-19?
You know, I wouldn't want to politicize that one, because if I say we handled the situation alone as the PF, I think it will mean we will lose the leadership and the clothes that we are still in the same predicament. The opposition will say that this is the reason why we never wanted it to come. This is the reason why we hesitated to join you. This is the reason why other people did not join because of this. But even as we are fighting this COVID, we remember that we are in the same predicament. Our role is that one of accepting that COVID-19, it's real. COVID-19, it's a challenge. COVID-19, it's a pandemic, and this is happening worldwide over, and it's not choosing. So by embracing that one through the leadership of one Edgar Chagwarungu, I think that's where we can just say that we have scored a score. Because if you look comparative with these other international leaders, like for instance the United States of America, that's why to this very day they have a big challenge, because of the head of state there. It did not take COVID the way it was supposed to be taken. If you look at Italy also, they had taken it in a laissez-faire manner. Brazil, it was the same. And I think even the UK, Johnson wanted to behave the same, toward the same. And they have experienced the same. But basically, where 100% should be struck, it's just on the leadership that we accept COVID-19 as not something which is political, as not something which is happening out of isolation, religious, but as something which is scientific. and it needed concerted effort of everyone, and we needed everyone to distance himself from politicizing it. So basically, by not politicizing COVID, I think leadership has been exhibited from both the opposition and ourselves. On this one, we are scoring this 100% together, and we don't want to divorce the opposition from being also part and parcel of this fight. Because we saw even Kaindi Chilema himself has been wearing a mask. Kaindi Chilema himself, he came, he contributed some keto. So there are others who came on board like Tayari. He also demonstrated the leadership. Nawakwi, they demonstrated leadership. Ali Kalaba, Chishimba Kambwili, all these they demonstrated leadership. I've been at times been critical to the same, saying can we shut down, can we, all those suggestions were coming on board, but the whole helped us to come up with where we stand today as Zambia, which was classified as the fourth safest country on the planet. So basically, 100% does not only get to us as a political party, but to all the stakeholders, the Hindu, the Muslims, and all these other communities, the Catholic who came on board, and then also these associations that made sure that we fought tooth and nail against this pandemic. And our appeal is we are still in this COVID-19. Let us continue fighting together.
Amid this COVID-19, we also had a series of by-elections, notably Lukasha, Mwansabombwe, and of course other local government by-elections. How would you rate the performance of your party in some of these by-elections? Notably, you obviously scoping both Lukasha and of course Mwansabombwe. You lost a bit in others, for instance, Sasheke and of course others. But how would you describe, just the overall performance of the party in these by-elections?
On the party side of issues, we seems to be been making inroads in 2020, and this is the reason why other people, they were saying that the by-election have been happening, people have been passing on, unfortunately others have been resigning, but we have made a lot of inroads in the Western Province, Northwestern Province, and then also we defended our seats, and then in the Northern Province we even gained one where an independent passed on, but we were hit badly as a political party because of the same COVID-19. We lost two gallantry MPs, our leaders in our meetings, from Mwansabombwe, Rogers Mwewa, and then also for Lukasha, we lost an independent who was also on our side. So basically, it has been a very difficult period. And we should not also forget the one which happened on the island. There we had a council chairperson who also succumbed to the same COVID-19. So it has been a very hard period for us, although we have continued mobilizing ourselves under the same predicament. And at times, it calls for strong leadership to be exhibited when we have been passing through such a hard economic situation as it was, because the going to the negative of the economy, the collapsing almost to the negative, it meant a lot going down on the leadership of the Patriotic Front and one we needed not to collapse ourselves or to cave in. So basically, as a party, from the Secretary General point of view, he has, I think, kept the party intact, and he would want to give a part to our Secretary General Davis Mwila for exhibiting such strong leadership in a very strong environment, especially that we have kept on growing as a political party. And then on the intra-party side, we have seen that we have managed almost, as at we stand today, seven provincial conferences have happened successfully without any instances of even the same COVID infection rates or going in our meetings or having participated in this very difficult situation. We haven't seen even any violence. It has been violence free to an extent whereby our opposition, they were saying that no, I think in PF, because it has happened so smoothly, it was state managed. But however it was, we have been very transparent.
Was it state managed?
No. It has not been the state managed. You know, people have always thought that whenever there's violence, that's when the violence an indicator of being competitive or not something being stage managed. But that has been a wrong approach to politics. But for us, the intra-party politics, they have never been stage managed. From the time we came on board the political platform in 2001 to where we stand, we have never stage managed our politics. And you know, if we are going to stage manage our politics, it would have been very difficult, because at the end of the day, as we are going in 2021, people would have been complaining that all these things, we have problems with the Western Province Conference, we have a problem with the Southern Province, but that has not been the case. We have been together moving as one block. So basically,
talking about intra-party election, Honorable, how would you describe the level of tolerance in the party, especially where other members with dissenting views and other members who might not really be for the idea of the current leadership is concerned? There are issues that, you know, the level of tolerance are not there. If other members rise up, they are chucked out of the party.
You know, there is important aspect that people have always missed. There is the issue of constitutionalism. Tolerance should move in tandem with constitutionalism, and where constitutionalism is followed, and then the other people who claim to be members are not following the constitution, they will say, no, we are not being tolerated because we want to stand. But in the actual sense, they are supposed to say we are not being tolerated because we are breaching the party constitution. Where party constitutionalism is concerned, it's important that people should move in tandem with the particular party rules and regulation. Just like the way we move with the rules and regulation of the ECZ, is it the Electoral Commission of Zambia concerning constitutionalism to do with the presidency in this country? There is no any other person who can just come anywhere to say that I want to be a Republican president without participating through the Electoral Commission election. So it is even the intra-party election. We follow the rules and regulation of our party, the Patriotic Front. And where the rules and regulations are concerned, and all these people, they follow them, you find that all those who follow the rules and regulations, they will participate. There will be total tolerance. But where you find an individual is coming from without, is saying that I'm PF and I want to challenge it in the room, you will find that you'll be abrogating a lot of rules. So those are some of the people, and one of the classic examples that we have is that one of the Fube. Fube, we have always known him as a party sympathizer, and at times he was attached to a subcommittee of the Central Committee. And I remember very well that is the election committee. After that, these are tasked for just to help the members of Central Committee, and that is, in that case, it was Jean Kapata, the MCC. And those appointments, they happened at the prerogative of the member of the Central Committee. He can either at any time continue with that committee or dissolve it. But in most cases, immediately after an election, these committees are dissolved. So basically, there is need that those who want to participate in the Patriotic Front party structures, they follow the rules and regulations. And that is to stand in all the structures that they want. So that at the end of the day, we remove that element of disorder, we remove that element of indiscipline, because a party can only succeed if there is discipline. So basically, discipline is very cardinal, and this is the reason why people, they ask for loyalty. And not only loyalty, they ask for also constitutionalism. Let individuals be law-abiding, because that's what our law of the land actually demand from all of us. So when you talk about intolerance, a lot of people have been casualties of maybe intolerance. It's because they have been indisciplined. So it has not been intolerance at all. Because in the Patriotic Front, we are very tolerant, and this is the reason why we have had people from the MMD. They have come to stand in our midst, and to this very day, they are honorables. We have people from Pudi, as way back in 2006, they came on board and they stood in Wapura. They came. In 2011, we had a lot. So basically for us as the Patriotic Front, we are the most democratic party. We are the most tolerant party, as long as we follow the rules and regulation of our political party. won the Patriotic Front.
Still obviously on the same, maybe under 30 seconds before I can ask my final question. How I wish it was SG seated here. So he can respond on behalf of the party.
Yes.
He can respond on behalf of the SG. Exactly.
All right.
How do you consider people with ambitions in the party?
Well, people with ambition in the party, they are allowed. In fact, everyone knows this is the reason why the president has opened it to all. The president is on record now. He has said the incumbents rule, it has been voted out. The lead has been voted out. Let those who have ambition. And I think even yesterday, there is a lady who stood, is it for the one who has come out to say that she wants to stand for Lusaka Central. She has come out, charity room. These are individuals who are free to come out. Others you have seen in Kabwata, there was another comrade who has shown there is incumbency, but at the same time now, we have graduated and we have kept on growing as a national party. So basically with us, on behalf of the Secretary General, we allow people to show ambition. And that ambition can only be exhibited, as I've said, after the rules and the regulations have been made open.
And
So
does
basically,
the party support such kind of individuals?
Yes,
starting from the SG's office to the media team to the higher office themselves. Do they support an individual comes and says, okay, me, I want to challenge, for instance, Honorable Lubinda in Kabwata? Does the party say, okay, you are free to challenge each other and we are going to support all of you as our kids?
Yes. In fact, that's what happened in Kabwata. But, you know, what happened in Kabwata was that, you know, because of not understanding the rules and the regulation of the party, they said this is the sole candidate who is going to replace Given Ruin. And then the SP came out and then it told them, no, it doesn't apply like that. You are just merely expressing your ambition. You are still fighting. There are others who come on board, who will join in. So it doesn't matter that you have come to challenge like this. The party demands that even Given Rwanda himself, he has to defend himself. When the right time comes, we will see the best candidate to take it. We don't have that rule that once you come out, if Tembo comes on board, are you going to say, no, I was told that I was the sole candidate? No, we don't have sole candidates at parliamentary levels. We don't even have sole candidates even at the presidential levels. But we have favored. These are the people whom we look up to as popular candidates. And the SG made it very clear. He said the popular candidates will take the day. Not you just coming on board saying, no, I'm the sole candidate to replace Given Rwanda. No, it's a democracy. Because a democracy, it requires everybody to participate. Even the incumbent can defend. So basically, as a party, the SG1 Davis Muira demonstrated and guided the party that we will come. We are even very much aware about what is happening. But we want to guide you. There are rules and regulations. There is nothing like his own candidate to replace somebody else. So I think the statement which came from the SG was enough to guide everybody to say that we are a democracy, and a democracy that tolerates everyone. If you are intolerant, you would have just said, no, you have failed, go away.
It's always a pleasure talking to you. All right, so you're still watching QTV Breakfast. Those are some of, issues. We've got quite a lot. When you're talking about 2020, there is a lot to talk about, but time is not always our best ally. We had to focus much on COVID-19 because it took almost the whole entire year and it froze most of the activities for this particular year. And currently we are talking about the new variant, which has already made inwards Africa. South Africa have recorded the new variant. And something that you need to know about the new variant of COVID-19 is that it's spreading very, very fast than the previous one. This one is spreading very fast. So there is need to keep on masking up, observing social distancing, and do all you can to protect yourself. Currently, as we speak, South Africa is in level 3 lockdown. They have already put up a curfew between 21 and 06 hours. Bars have been closed, and of course, the selling of alcohol has been stopped as we speak. So we do not want that to affect Zambia, because you know what that will mean. All right, you're still watching QTV Breakfast. Good morning.